In just recently from the Office of Public Defender, and we'll entertain a motion to add that item to our agenda.
Second?
Motion second. Questions? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Where we gonna?
We told her 9:50, so.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
She's here. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Mrs. Neuin, you're
Yes.
up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We had receipts on 5/13 and 5/14, $666,369.71. That brought us to a total cash of $12,899,312.34. Our expenditures this week were $1,334,092.98. The tax claim is $47,930.04. The ES $11,509,289.32.
Second?
Motion is second. Any questions or comments on the report? None. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. And the agenda is approved. Thank you. Michelle. Morning, Michelle.
Morning.
You may introduce yourself for the record and proceed.
Director of Human Resources, under Personnel Transaction Summary, Jerry Hart, Court Officer, Courts, termination effective May 5th. Michelle Stelz, Telecommunicator, Michael Stelz, Telecommunicator, Department of Emergency Services, termination effective May 2nd. Donald Yorty, Communications Technician, Department of Emergency Services, retirement effective July 4th. Lauren Cordon, Admin Assistant 1 in Domestic Relations, resignation effective May 16th. Raquel Martinez, Caseworker 2 in MHIDEI, resignation effective May 23rd. Rachel Speck, Collections Officer in Probation Services, resignation effective June 30th. Robert Paul, Probation Officer 1 in Probation Services, resignation effective May 27th.
Make a motion to move the resignations and terminations with special recognition to Donald Jordy for his many, 06, 16, 26, almost 30 years of service.
I'll second the motion.
So noted. Is there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, and that is approved.
Under leaves of absence, Adrian Wetzel, Children and Youth, 4-week leave of absence effective May 5th.
Also move.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any questions or comments on the leave?
Is this the one coming back? Is she getting paid when she's off?
No, that's a different one. That's
Okay.
the one here,
All
yeah.
right, thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. That leave is granted.
Under changes of status, transfers, and promotions, Lucia Miranda transferring from Office Support 2/Interpreter in Domestic Relations to Caseworker 1 in Children and Youth at the rate of $1,597.60 biweekly effective May 26th. Jennifer Hartman, voluntary demotion from Second Deputy in the Pathonetary Office to General Clerk C in the Pathonetary Office at the rate of $1,432.62 biweekly effective May 12th. Julie Mara Lara Barbera, promotion from General Clerk C in Pathonetary Office to Second Deputy in the Pathonetary Office to the rate of $1,222.08 biweekly effective May 12th.
Make a motion to accept the changes of status, transfers, and promotions.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, and the changes are approved.
Under other transactions, Children and Youth would like to rehire Holly Whitmer as a caseworker 1 at the rate of $1,597.60 biweekly effective June 9th. The Pathonetary's Office would like to hire Cole Weirich as a General Clerk C at the rate of $1,138.30 biweekly effective May 12th. And President Judge Tilwalk would like to rehire Jamie DeShong Harris as an Office Support 2 at the rate of $1,200.69 biweekly effective May 19th.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Questions or comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose sign, and those transactions are approved.
Moving on to salary board, motion to approve all transactions previously read, plus the following. Maritza Perez, interpreter pay addition. She is currently in Office Support 2 in Domestic Relations, and that is an annual stipend of $1,500 prorated from the effective date of June 1st. And Jenna Kaufman, longevity payment, probation officer 1, a one-time 3-year longevity payment of $1,279.04, effective May 30th.
So, second?
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Salary board recommendations are approved. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. No, we do have one additional personnel matter.
Good morning, Tina Litz, Warden of the Lebanon County Correctional Facility. With me, we have Ray Arnold, Director of Work Release, and his lovely wife. Today, the commissioners are presenting a proclamation to Ray Arnold for 32 years of dedication and service to the county, specifically at the Lebanon County Correctional Facility. Ray Arnold is a gentleman that did more than show up for work over the course of his tenure and career. He had his hands in just about anything he could to positively impact the correctional facility, and he worked hard to build relationships in the community, to have employees to hire our incarcerated individuals. So as happy as I am for Ray's retirement and his hard work and dedication, for him to have a retirement, it's also going to be sad and a lot of work for the correctional facility to find a replacement that has the diligence, the history, and again, the dedication to service that Ray Arnold presented for the county, specifically at the Lebanon County Correctional Facility.
If I could, Jamie, read the proclamation?
Sure. Unless you'd like to.
What's that?
Unless you'd like to.
No, go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
all right. Whereas Ray Arnold Jr. began his career with the Lebanon County Correctional Facility, employed as a full-time correctional officer on August 30th, 1992. Whereas on September 15, 1997, Ray was selected as the Assistant Work Release Director and was promoted to the Director of Work Release at the facility on August 24th, 2020. And whereas during his tenure, Ray served the county with devotion and commitment. He was a key member of the correctional team, performing his duties and responsibilities in a professional manner. He has been a valuable and dedicated employee. Whereas on May 28th, 2025, Ray will retire from the Lebanon County Correctional Facility with over 32 years of distinguished service. And now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners of Lebanon County, on behalf of past boards of county commissioners, past and present employees, and all our citizens, unite to thank Ray for the outstanding service he provided during his many years at the Lebanon County Correctional Facility. Further, extend our congratulations and best wishes for a most rewarding future and very best retirement.
I will move to approve.
And I will second, and then I have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I've known Ray probably the whole time I've been here, and I've learned him to be a gentleman, as he pulled your chair for you, but a gentle soul in a tough job. And I think he touched a lot of the people who went to the jail, and maybe gave them a little hope that there was hope for them, that they could turn their lives around, and I'm sure you touched a lot of them. Thank you, Ray, for your service.
I echo the words of the proclamation and what Commissioner Litz said. Great career with us. We're grateful and we're happy for you with your future retirement years.
I'd like to add to his Gordon and Commissioner Litz referred to as a gentleman. That's what I've noticed. You conduct yourself as a gentleman, but also a real professional, and you leave huge shoes to fill. I only hope we can get somebody that's as close to you in the way you conduct yourself and lead our program at the prison.
Let me stay as long as he stayed.
Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I would just like to say I couldn't be the person I am today without Jesus in my life. And also, my wife, Shelley, she has been the backbone of my success because she's always there for me. And I came up under 3 different wardens now. I remember Bob Rager was a great man, so was Bob Carnes, and Tina's a great lady. I have to say that. She's an excellent warden. So. Without their leadership, and I mean, with my shortcomings, sometimes everybody has them, but we have always come to common ground and work together on that thing. So I'm very thankful for the career you've given me and the pension I'm gonna help endure my life through all her. So thank you again.
Bless you. He's still a gentleman. He said you had to come up under 3 wardens. Instead of saying you trained 3 different wardens.
They were all great. So they all have their strengths. So.
You know, and I also would like to thank Shelley because working in a jail is difficult because you have your jail personality. Sometimes you have to be not harsh, but you have to be a little more stern with the population that you deal with, and then you have to balance that to go home. And remember, at home, you're a husband, you're a father, you're a grandfather, and Shelley has, I feel, been there to help Ray navigate and maneuver those times. So as much of 32 years and 9 months of service Ray Arnold provided to the Academy, Shelley also provided that by being a supportive wife and showing him the way as a partner. So thank you, Shelley.
God bless you both, and many happy, healthy years in your retirement.
Thank you.
Any additional comments from anyone? No, we'll entertain a vote, or we'll need to vote to approve that proclamation. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And that proclamation is approved. Would you like to get a photo?
Yes, can I get a photo of you guys? Right.
Sallie?
Do that first, and then I'll come see it. Right there, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Shelley, you want to pop in? I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for letting us have them. Enjoy your time.
Sorry.
Oh, I know. It was always, you felt safe and secure with him there, and it was never harsh with anybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
His openings.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Now, how do you follow that?
Another contact.
Introduce yourself for the record, and then you may proceed.
Good morning. I'm Matthew Bugli, Lebanon County Solicitor. I have one item for consideration by the board this morning. This is a lease early termination agreement. The party to the agreement is Advanced Treatment Systems, but it is that's their corporate name. It's Acadia Healthcare. They had the methadone clinic out on 3030 Chestnut Street near the sewage treatment center, and they reached out to us some time ago inquiring about terminating the lease early, and so there were several rounds of negotiation. We had good discussions with Mr. Dean Lee on behalf of Acadia Healthcare, and they are agreeable to paying the full balance remaining in the lease agreement until the current lease is set to expire November 30th of 2026, so we calculated the remaining lease payments. The one item I do want to note, the agreement in your packet reflects the total amount without payment for May. I did confirm with Jim Dunmoyer that they did submit payment for May, so I have an updated copy of the agreement. So the new amount that we will be agreeing to is $127,765.44. The agreement in your packet too had a date of April 30th as the termination. That was when we were negotiating back in April. So the new date it will terminate on May 31st of 2025. So the county will be getting full payment for the rent from Acadia Healthcare relative to that portion of the building that we were set to get through November of 2026.
If I could just add to that, the proceeds of that go into the Drug and Alcohol Commission's program. So it's not a general fund receipt,
Okay.
it goes to the agency, which just as the rent did.
Is there a lead on another tenant, or are we not allowed to lease it before it ends?
Well, I think Mr. Dunmoyer has begun discussions and just trying to see about a prospective new tenant, and I believe he is hopeful to try and get somebody in. We don't have any particular party identified at this point, but I think at this point we're going to begin, now that the termination has happened, we're going to begin seeking prospective new tenants.
Okay.
And Acadia still resides on the property.
Correct.
They're still leasing another portion of it that's not affected by this.
There's like 4 housing or buildings there, I guess.
Yeah, so this is relative to the methadone clinic. There's
Yes.
also the White Deer Run Treatment Facility, which is on the other side of it. That's a separate lease
Okay.
with Acadia Healthcare.
Well, then I'll make a motion to approve the request for the early termination.
I will second the motion.
Motion second. Any questions, comments? None. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. And that is approved. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Anything additional?
Yep, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll bring Megan in now, and then I'll finish up before we go to Steve's stuff.
Morning.
Good morning. Would you please introduce yourself for the record, and you may proceed.
I'm Megan Tidwell, I'm the Chief Public Defender, and I'm here to talk to you about an extended grant opportunity. So the Indigent Defense Fund had originally run through December 31st of 2025, and the original amount was a little over $95,000. So we have learned that that is going to be extended another year, so that would extend it to December 31st of 2026, and they're allocating an additional $99,066 to Lebanon County. This would allow, and what I'm asking the commissioners to sign off on would be to extend our social services advocate position that we have implemented since January of 2025 for another year. Right now she's part-time, and would like to keep that position part-time, and allocate I guess 3% more to her salary for the 2026 year. So that brings us to $31,213.12. We would like to retain our part-time mental health attorney for another year. That's attorney Horace Airgood. We would set aside $51,578.28. And for a retention bonus for our 4th secretary, $3,610 is the same amount that I've allocated for the other 3 secretaries who had become eligible for that retention bonus during this current term of the grant. I have talked to the union about the retention bonus issue. They have approved those 3 secretaries for a retention bonus, and so I'm asking for the 4th one to also receive a retention bonus. And lastly, the only new thing that I didn't ask last term would be for a subscription for Westlaw Precision with co-counsel. This would be an AI-assisted legal research tool. We already currently use Westlaw So this AI assistant is integrated into the program that we already use. If you're familiar with AI, ChatGPT has been a big thing. This service is like ChatGPT, except it uses the database that we already use. So kind of how a paralegal would be able to do preliminary research for us, this AI tool would give us the ability to do that without hiring another person. So that would be 6 to 7 subscriptions for six to 7 attorneys. That would be $12,664.60. If we do need a 7th subscription, I would be asking to use my office supply line item for the additional around $2,500 for that last subscription.
May I ask, is this for next year? As you mentioned September of 26.
So,
Okay, so that's not this year, it's all next year.
correct. I'm
Okay.
looking for January 1st.
So it'll be in your next budget then?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, the prior grant's already in 2025 budget.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion is second to approve this request. Any questions or comments?
I know that across the state, a lot of your peers are doing similar things for this grant. Everyone kind of gets their heads together and says this is where it's headed. Are they using this add-on to Westlaw, do you find?
So a survey went out to get a feel for how the counties have been using AI and what they use it for. I've heard good things about the Lexis version of this tool. They find it really helpful because certain versions, we're starting with the beginner version, but the one above this can actually draft briefs for you, and I've heard that it's accurate and it's a very good start to doing that. So I think we're headed in that direction, and this would be a good getting our toes wet option.
Additional questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Have that approval.
Thank you.
Appreciate your hard work on that. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, Mr. Walden.
Before we get to the retirement board, I have 2 items. The first being the disabled veteran exemptions for those eligible for the exemption criteria. For exemption from real estate, they are Matthew Plitch of Aspen Lane, Lebanon, Antonio Cruz of Christine Drive, Lebanon, Robert Trunk of Cambridge Court, Palmyra, Brittany Kreiser of King Street, Anvil, and Mark Good of Harvest Drive, Lebanon.
Move to approve the submitted exemption request for veterans for real estate tax exemption.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and those requests are granted.
Okay, and next I have recommendations for reappointment to the Lebanon County Commission on Drug and Alcohol Abuse Advisory Council. Again, these would all be reappointments. They are Michael Fry, PhD in the education category, James D. Streiff or J.D. Streiff. In the optional category, Michael Weirich in optional, William White in optional, and Jennifer Easter in healthcare professional category. All, if appointed, would be expiring in February of 2028.
Second?
Motion is second. Questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those reappointments are granted.
So we'll transition over here to retirement board and reconfigure our screen a little bit. We do have 2 individuals joining us by Zoom, so bring them on. There they go.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
Assume you can see Mike and Brett on the screen over here.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mike, if you'd like to take the lead and introduce yourselves for the record, and you You may proceed when you're ready.
Mike Battistelli and Brad Arnold with Stifel-Mike. We're here to present the first quarter results of the pension board, or the pension plan for retirees. And we do have with us two guests out there in TV land from Madison Investments. Are two strategies that we have in the portfolio. So right now, we'll go over, if it's all right, we'll go over the first quarter. We'll give a year-to-date number, update, a few comments, and then we'll turn it over to Madison.
Two gentlemen from Madison are Matt Goetzinger. He's responsible for, he's a senior analyst with the equity portion with what we call mid-cap or medium-sized company. And then Doug Fry is a portfolio manager on the fixed income side. Like Mike said, there's two different pieces that they manage for us. So if you would take your booklet like we typically do there, the report on page 4 of 11, the page that we usually refer to, and this is just the first quarter of the year, obviously. At the top left it says from basically December or January 1st through March 31st, and as Mike mentioned, we'll have updated numbers after that. But on the top left-hand side there, if you go to the year-to-date numbers, which is the same as the current period, the pension fund started out with $138,725,294. And then in the way of cash flow with distributions, there was $2.7 million that was taken out in distributions. Then we had a decline of a little over $600,000 during that time frame. And then the pension fund ended up at $135,363,914 at the end of that period. So we had a negative return, if you will, of that during that time frame of about 0.51%. So we were down about 0.5%. During that time, and Mike will share a little bit more about this, and I'm sure Doug and Matt can jump in too. But during that time frame, that was kind of when the markets, we had a bump at the beginning of the year, then things started selling off. And at the time, the equity markets around that time were down around 5 or 10%, which we don't have all equities for you folks. But at that time, it was a little bit more pessimistic with what was going on. The bottom right-hand corner is just the overall allocation. A cash balance of about 1% that's in there, what we call cash equivalents. Kind of moving clockwise, the equities or the stock portion is 65%. Fixed income is 28%, and then the REIT portfolio or alternative investments is 6%. And Madison, just to kind of give some perspective as they speak here in a few minutes, they represent about 7.3% or about $9.8 million of the overall pension. So they have a pretty substantial piece of the pension. Any questions on any of this at all? No. And I'll ask you if you don't mind going to page 6, and so page 6 gives a little more perspective, if you will. And it has over towards the right half of the page at the top, you see 1, 3, 5, and 10 year. And if you just kind of drop to the bottom of each of those columns, that 1 year number is 4.48% over the last 12 months. And so that would be April 1st, help me out, April 1st of last year through 24 through the end of March of this year. The next column over, that 3 year number of 4.49%, the 5 year number of 9.85%, and that's per year. Those are averages is what those are. And then that right number, the 10 year number of 6.23% over the last 10 years. So with that, and Mike has, again, up to date as of just a day or so ago.
So since the quarter end, there's been a lot of news since the end of the quarter. Tariffs have definitely been in the news, inflation, possible recession. Some of the tariffs, as I think most of us know, if you're kind of following it, it started to be negotiated. I can't say anything's been finalized, but there's becoming some more clarity, and I think that creates a little more calmness in the market. So far, this quarter, I'm going to give you a year-to-date number, but it's gotten a little bit better. So we are positive 1.37% year-to-date, January through yesterday. And the plan stands at $136,614,498. Again, we don't usually look at
indexes specifically because it's hard to line up a benchmark, if you will, an exact benchmark, but at the same time period, the S&P is down 0.64, the Dow Jones is down 0.32, NASDAQ is down 3.12%. So on a relative basis, the pension plan is performing the way we would expect it in a challenging market, in that we're built and put together kind of a little bit defensive, and it's kind of holding up. This is the time that kind of we show that. Okay. Any questions on those updated numbers? And then one other comment here, right now we have about 1% in cash, as Brett had mentioned. One of the questions about this time of the year is just inquiring about your annual contribution. Kind of knowing when that might be coming might help us to determine whether we need to raise some cash or, plan on that cash coming in. Is there any thought to that?
Controller said that we should have a number from our actuary, I think, in the next week.
Yeah, the next week we should have those numbers, and then we can.
If we have that Sallie has the funds set aside, so if we have that, then we can pay that, rather than you liquidating anything. If we don't have that and it becomes urgent, then we can do an estimate and, but if you're okay for a few weeks yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without liquidating?
Yeah, we're good till mid-June at least.
Okay.
So. Okay.
Just maybe stupid question. In this volatility period, is 1% in cash enough, do you feel? Should you have?
We were just talking about that, Brett and I were just talking about that we've had a little run up here. And depending on whose outlook you're looking at, there's still concerns about the market and could we go into a recession? The first quarter GDP was negative. If we get a second negative quarter in the second quarter, that would be a technical recession. So things could slow down. So we have actually been talking about maybe even raising some additional cash while we're at a higher point right now, and likely we'll do that.
So with that, Matt and Doug, I don't know if you guys did a coin toss to see who goes first, but if not, Matt, if you just want to start us off just for purposes, I guess, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, great. Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Great. Thanks for everyone's time this morning. So as the introduction, my name is Matthew Goetzinger. I help manage the mid-cap strategy here at Madison. And I can go through kind of first quarter numbers, where we are through kind of mid-May, speak a little bit about tariffs, and then how we're kind of positioned right now and finding opportunities. But I think maybe before kind of getting into the details, I think it's kind of helpful maybe just to take a step back and just reappraise everyone in the room in terms of how we think about managing an equity portfolio, just to level set everyone. So first and foremost, we really think about our investment process and trying to identify absolutely strong, durable business models. We like to call these businesses kind of all-weather vehicles, so businesses that can perform well regardless of the economic environment. And then if you think about just kind of the mental image of kind of a king's castle, and the castle represents the really underlying profitability in the business, what we demand when we're looking for new businesses, we demand that that castle has a substantial moat around that castle, and that moat protects the profitability within that business and within that castle. And so you can imagine that, a nicely profitable business always attracts competition, and so we're always trying to suss out and understand what makes this particular company have a really strong and durable moat.